Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, October the 30th. It's a beautiful day for beautiful people to be alive in this earth realm. I'm coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, preparing for Zillow Unlock's national conference. They've got a closed door mastermind that's happening with leading flex teams. And of course, as us being the number one team Zillow partner in Northern California, will be in the building. Myself, Elias, Dan, I believe Kenny will also be here. That starts on Sunday. So yeah, believe it or not, we'll be in a mastermind on Sunday. So I really have to monitor my party output on Saturday because I have to be focused and representing Team Fast on Sunday, right? But glad to be here. Missed you guys. Fresh out of EXPCon. I've been traveling all over the East Coast, from California to New Jersey to Miami, back to New Jersey to New York City, and now I'm in Las Vegas. So I cannot wait to come home. At least get a dose of some regular weather. Okay? If you have been to the East Coast, you know, and you're from California, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Well, the average temperature is in the 40s right now over there, you guys, with the sun shining. How about that? Sun. We're from California. Sun and heat are synonymous. Out there, like Julie was saying earlier, the sun is just a natural light bulb. It produces zero heat whatsoever. Okay. And so I'm glad to be in regular climate is what I would call it. So let's get straight to it. We may take the full 60 minutes today, ladies and gentlemen, but I want to get your permission on the front end. If we end about 5 or 10 minutes prior to 12 o'clock, is everybody okay with that? Everybody cool with that? I want to make sure everybody's straight. Okay, so let's talk first. I know a lot of us have been in Elias's Keep It Moving space on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'm sure you've heard all about EXPCon and gotten feedback from those who were at EXPCon. I'm looking on the screen to see if there was anyone. Oh, yeah, my brother Glenn. Glenn, if you wouldn't mind, bro, taking yourself off of mute. I recognize that you're driving, but take us out on the field in the most simplest way. Speaking to your experience of EXPCon, what you learned, some of the takeaways that you can implement into your business model immediately. If you don't mind sharing with the group 1 or 2 key learnings and then 1 application or action step that you're going to take as a result of what you took from EXPCon.
Yeah, so EXPCon rocks. This is my second year. I realized at this year's EXPCon that I'm playing my games like a 4-year-old, and it is time to step up the way that I play. Leverage. The biggest thing that I took away is really leveraging technology to make my life easier, to make my business better, bigger, faster, and I can do that by just leveraging technology and the people that help to make our jobs easier. So done is better than perfect, and I spend way too much time on perfect. But really the biggest thing is I play this game like a 4-year-old, and if you are not taking steps to get out there and to see others and be seen, you are missing a huge opportunity. So I am so grateful that I took the opportunity to be seen dancing outside Havana nightclub. Whatever it was, I was out there, and I made the most of it. And what I've already started to do is to really leverage AI beyond just asking it, help me out with the market report. I've created some personas within ChatGPT already, so that I've uploaded some job descriptions and said, hey, when I ask, to talk to my accountant, I want you to act this way. When I ask you to think like Glenn, here's what I want you to do. So having a conversation with myself is truly possible leveraging AI. So I've already started to implement some of that. I encourage you all to do the same.
100%. And it was great to see you busting a move at the Club Havana. All right. You just showed me a different side of you that is just a ball of joy to be with. So that was dope. So thank you for that contribution. And he said something that was powerful that I really want to point out. He said that his game was that of the level of a 4-year-old. Let's stop and think about that really quick. How many of us have kids, grandkids? nieces, nephews, think about when they were 4, their functionality, their capacity, the basics. They're mastering the basics. He equated his business being at that of a level of a 4-year-old, but that coming into these spaces and leveraging relationships is what the value proposition is for any conference that you attend. EXPCon, Zillow, Inman, there's conferences all up and down the calendar. But if you're not leveraging relationships, if you're not getting out as it relates to visibility and letting the world know who you are, you're selling yourself short, ladies and gentlemen. Look at these conferences as an investment into self. And your ROI is what you determine it to be. Glenn's ROI was an enlightenment, like, whoa, I'm playing way too small here. Well, you don't discover the size of your engine until you are up against another engine. And then he's like, oh, shoot, I need to modify some stuff. I need to add a few things, some more horsepower to my engine because I could be going faster. Well, we don't discover that until we put ourselves in these spaces and in these places. By a show of hands, who's ever been to an EXPCon? Nobody? So we are the number 1 team in EXP. Let me just give you a dope. Do you know what bragging rights come with that when you're at an EXPCon? When there are teams within EXP from all over the country and you say, I'm with Team Fast. Really? That's the response no matter where you go. It's an immediate open door opportunity for conversation because we are the talk of the brokerage. I'm just going to be quiet and let that settle. It cost me $2,000 to go to Miami on a personal hike, stayed for a week. I told myself, if I'm going to pay $2,000, I have an objective that I'm not going to leave Miami until I've accomplished. And for me, that was 3 coaching clients, teams across the country. And I left with 4. So that $2,000 return on investment was exponential. And I just got from Miami to New York to I haven't even gotten back to California yet. I'm just simply saying that to say this is a real case study of when you put your mind to an objective as a result of investing in yourself, just give yourself that opportunity. Does that make sense? Second piece, if you're not leveraging technology, you're not running a business. How many of you use ChatGPT? Everybody's hand should be on the screen, okay? How many of you use other AI tools besides ChatGPT? I see 1, I see 2, I see 3 out of 35. When you use ChatGPT, I heard something that was super powerful. Most of us are using it as a search engine. Tell me how to get to, like you're speaking into Google. You're totally underutilizing the magnanimous capabilities of AI by using it as a search engine, as opposed to your assistant that you are prompting and giving directives and tasks to based upon you as the unique chief executive officer. I want to encourage you to stop using ChatGPT as a search engine. It's not a search engine. And there is a difference. Start to use it as a prompt, a tech prompt, who is your artificial intelligence assistant, whose knowledge base is limitless. Just a piece of encouragement here. We're going to get straight into what I have for the day. I first want to just send a shout out to my boy Dan for holding it down in our absence. I want to bring some stuff before you, present some thought-provoking numbers, talk how we're going to close out the remaining time in Q4, and then we're going to get on with the rest of our day. And I'm going to start by asking you a question. Let me share my screen really quick. Bam, boom. Get this out of the way. Bam, let's do that. Boom. Let's go here. Let's do this. No. What happened? Wrong button. Can everyone see my screen? We're good to go. I'm going to call on someone. Maori, what is this number? 663. Does that have any significance to you? And I'm not trying to guess your age. I'm not insinuating that at all. What does that number have? Does that have any? I can't hear you. You're on mute. See your lips moving.
Okay. Unmute. Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can. 63.
63. It's above first that thing that came to mind. Above middle age.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Above
Yeah.
middle age. Well,
Yeah.
if that is true, however, that is not what this number 63 signifies. Does anyone else want to give it another shot before I go into what the significance of this number is?
63 days to the end of the year.
Let's go, Coom. 63 days until the end of the year.
Okay.
63 days until the end of the year. Ask yourself this question, ladies and gentlemen. What is your holiday season going to look like? Are you going to be purchasing?
Being a boss ass closing deals.
Yeah.
Boss ass closing deal. What is your 60? What is your holiday season going to look like? Is it going to be full of laughs, laughter? Mayor, are you still? Would you mind putting yourself on mute?
Yep.
Thank you. Are you going to be purchasing Christmas gifts on credit? Are you going to be accumulating debt for gifts that folks probably won't be using in the next 12 to 18 months? Is it going to be peaceful, abundant? Are you going to be able to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, where you want to do it, with whom you want to do it? If the answer to any of those questions is no, what are you going to do with the remaining 60, with these remaining 63 days of the year? Have you hit your goal? We've got 63 days left. We all started at the top of the year with sales goals, volume goals, units goals, monthly goals, conversion percentage goals, GCI goals. Where are you with that? And if you are not where you planned to be at this time, I have good news for you. You have 63 days to turn the tide, to turn the direction of the ship, and you are the captain of the ship. Think about it. Because we are responsible for where we are right now today with 63 days left. And if you're not where you want to be, you have all of the ability in the world to still accomplish those goals. Because guess what? Every day that we are blessed to be awakened is an opportunity for us to get it in. It's an opportunity for us to walk in abundance. It's an opportunity for you to produce. It's an opportunity for you to tighten the bolts in your conversion machine. It's an opportunity for you to change someone's life. It's an opportunity for you to enhance the quality of life for you and your family. 63 days. Aaron, I see you got smiles on your face, brother. You got a contribution this morning?
No, I'm just looking at the comments of 63 days to 100K. I between Julie and Maori, I'm like, okay, watch out now. So it's a good thing to strive for, and it definitely put a little bit of a benchmark out there. I like these calls because people throw ideas out there, and you're like, why not try to hit that? So I appreciate the comment.
So we are in a room full of converters and top producers on the #1 team within eXp Realty, period. Big goals, big ideas, big dreams, big visions, big lines cast, big nets cast. That's what we do in this space. So I love the conversation. I love the numbers. 100K in 63 days is 100% possible, but it's going to be determined by 3 key terms: consistency, discipline, and commitment. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Let me continue to pat you guys on the back, because I believe as a leader that it's always of benefit to highlight our wins. Let's get into some more numerology. 147. Can anyone take a guess at what that number means? Why is it doing that? 147. Anyone? If we don't have any takers, I'll go straight in. 147 transactions are closed, including those that are pending to date. I set at the beginning of the year, we set a magnanimous goal ahead of us as it relates to number of units sold with this Zillow team, as well as sales volume. It was 130 units sold. We have 63 days left in this year, and we're at 147. So let's just stop. And I just want to applaud you for your commitment, for your discipline, and for your consistency. But let's not take our foot off the gas now. I'm going to revert to the question that we opened with. How is your holiday season going to look? And what percentage of the pie will be on your table? Next number. 103 million in sales volume year to date with 63 days left in this month. The goal that we set before ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, at the top of the year was 100 million in sales volume. We have surpassed that number with 63 days left in the year. Congratulations. Like, that's a direct sentiment. That's a direct reflection of your work, of your commitment. How many on this call have closed a transaction? Out of those 147, you have 2 or more transactions logged in that 147. Show of hands. 2 or more transactions logged in that 147. 5 or more transactions logged in that 147. Anybody? For those of you who didn't raise your hand, what are you going to do about it in the next 63 days? Own it.
I ain't gonna lie, I suck ass at follow-up. So if someone's really great at follow-up, I'm down to partner.
George, don't say that on a recorded line in this environment again. Okay? You DM that. You chat it. Okay?
Hey, you said be real, so let's be real, keep it moving.
You don't let your performance coach hear that you suck at follow-up on the damn conversion clinic call. I'm just saying. I love you to pieces, but find some partners on the back end. Just now he done put me on blast. I got to hold him accountable for his lack of follow-up on the damn call. But thank you, George. Moving right along. I have a question for you. How's it going with ZHL? Let's have a conversation about this. Yeah, Aaron, I see you. I'm going to come to you, my brother. I'm going to come to you. And I'm asking for a reason. We had a monthly goal of 11. We're currently at 3 approved. I love you too, brother. Oh, that's Maori. Pre-approved for 3 out of 11. I see that we're making the transfers. Now we're going to have a conversation because there's a host of agents on the team who have not put forth an effort to at least make a warm transfer to a ZHL loan officer to date. And I want to find out why. I want to understand what the challenges are because I'm having conversations with our Zillow representatives. And of course, this ZHL is like the newest thing, the newest performance metric that most teams are being held accountable to, and we're missing it. Now, I know that this call is recorded, and I'm still going to say this. I had spoken to our leadership and let them know that it's highly unlikely that we're going to go from 0 to hero with ZHL as this transitions happen. So I didn't expect, and I'm going to put it in front of us, keep it real, to get 100% of that number on the first month. It's a process. We're identifying what the relationship looks like, how the warm handoff actually happens. What is the responsibility of the loan officer once they get the transfer from us as the agents? But what I need to hear from you is what is your experience on your end, the agent end, as it relates to transferring a lead over to a loan officer, and what does that process look like from the loan officer picking it up and communicating with us? Aaron, did you have a contribution there?
Yeah, I just was going to put in my 2 cents because I actually am referring to them and I've closed deals with ZHL in the past.
Okay.
And I would say before they mandated us doing this, their pricing was sharper. So now that they mandated it, I've referred 2 people. One person's in contract right now. And when they provided me I talked to my clients and say, hey, I'll look over the loan estimates and the disclosures with you. And I also have a unique perspective in the sense that I'm also a lender. So I tap into my broker side and I look at the rates myself. And before they mandated it, they were on point. There was no questions. I checked my rates to their rates. They were on. This last time they locked or they locked a rate for my client. So I looked at it and it was off. It was off, and I had to like talk to some people to see where they were at as well. And at the end of the day, that client went to a friend of his that he works with, broker. I talked to that lady too. They were about to transfer the escrow, and we were in a position where we had a short escrow. So I was like, damn, now I feel like, we're compromising this escrow. But at the end of the day, they got the loan estimate to Ben. Ben competed, got the rate down. But going through that was kind of problematic. And then I have a second person that Blessing and I are working with that we did the same thing, referred them to them. They got pre-approved really quick. But when they talked to rate, I don't want to say we lose credibility. They're still talking to us, but it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't like your Zillow person's rate. And then it becomes like a reflection of us, right? And so I would say in my experience, I closed one in January. I closed another one in August before they mandated any of this, and they were on point with the rates. And then it was easy to say, hey, that 700, or, that appraisal report's good to go, this and that. Once they mandated that we have to give them a certain amount, I've noticed 2 of them that I've referred over, rates trash.
Rates were way higher than what our preferred lenders are offering.
Yeah. I mean, the rate that the guy locked, when I looked at my rate, I could give them back almost a point rebate probably. He was at 1/8 of a point cost. So it's like they were actually paying a little bit for the rate, whereas I had a wholesale lender I could have sent that loan to, and they would actually got a 1 point credit back.
Okay, that's a huge delta.
Yes. And in the end, the broker that he went and talked to, because I also gave them the contact of somebody I work with that I knew could have got a better rate, but they didn't call that guy. So they called their own friend, and that person came back with a rate that was lower. They were still getting a credit for it, but it was one of those situations where they competed with it and it wasn't as much. But again, where I feel like I lost a little credibility is I referred Zillow first. If I would have referred them to the broker that I work side by side with, they would have got a way better deal, but they didn't even call that guy because now I don't know what I'm talking about as far as lenders. Like I got high rates on my loans.
Okay, that's good feedback to have, because your referrals have come after the new ZHL initiative, right? So you've got a pre and a post.
Yeah, before and after, and I can see the difference.
Right, where you're seeing rates are different, flow is different as well. And I'm to your point, Aaron, I just want to make sure that I'm hearing you accurately, because when I have our meetings, I'm going to be bringing back this feedback from the team because we're on the ground level, right? So when they tried to lock the rate, the rate was much higher than what any of your preferred lenders could have offered. But because we referred them to ZHL on the front end, that in a sense has an impact on our perceived credibility, because although it's beyond our control, that rate spike when you're locking it and us being the referral mechanism does have a reflection on us. And I need to have this type of feedback to go back. Did I recall that accurately?
Yeah, and it's a little bit even different, right? Because of this, I'm really hyper aware of referring it. So like, the Tom Ferry refer 3 lenders and stuff. Normally, if it's just another client that I have, they know I've been in mortgage, so they trust what I'm saying, and they'll take 3 different lenders. In this case, when I'm your Zillow preferred agent and I refer you to Zillow Home Loans, and Zillow Home Loans rate is like kind of like insulting to you. Yeah. Like one person hung on, but they didn't go with my alternative. They didn't even take my recommendation for the next guy that I knew could have got them a better rate, right? And they went to somebody else, which again, you lose a little control. If they went to their friend at work's lender, and that lender's like, oh, you don't want to do this, and they try to pin us like as one in the same, it kind of is compromising. And even with the client who we have now that we're talking to them about writing, but they don't like it. And they, again, are not taking any more advice. Like they're not listening to me say, hey, go talk to Ashley at the money store. They just sort of like, we're just going to talk to Chase, which I know is going to be a slower escrow. But at this point, as far as the lending aspect is going, I feel like I've lost a little credibility as far as who I can refer them to, because it just was so, in their eyes, so much higher than what they feel like they can get. And the fact that they're saying, I'm going to go talk to Chase, is like, wow, your rates must be really high if somebody's going to go to Chase. And where I feel a certain kind of way about it is when they mandate you to do it. They come in, they say, you're going to have to do it. We give this to you. We want this back. Seems like automatically they bump the rates up knowing that at this point we're kind of mandated to do it. So now they don't even really have to compete. They're hanging their hat on an appraisal fee only, which again, when your rates are so much higher, that's not quite as appealing.
It's an offset. It's not an offset, right, in terms of cost. So this is good feedback, Aaron. And I appreciate that feedback. Question for the what was your average day close of escrow? Because one of the value props that Zillow markets is 21-day close of escrow.
Everybody closes 21 days. Like, I mean, this one, they bumped it up to 18, but on me just personally, from my broker side, if I send it to like UWM, I'm 18 days, easy.
Okay.
So lending right now, like I even see Ronnie even tapped in, and Chase can do 14 days now. So I think that AI is not only working for us, it works for the lenders too, because they now just run it through. They're getting income validated through. I mean, they should close fast. They don't ask for any income docs. They run all your assets through that one where they pull it digitally. They run all your income through the work number, pull it digitally. So what are they even spending time reviewing, right? So the quickness of close is what I feel like typical in the market now. Anybody who's like, I need 30 days to close, especially if I'm doing the lending side, if a wholesale lender tells me I need 30 to 45 days to close, your rate better be like 2 points below everybody else, because there's no way I'm going to you with that, especially on a purchase. I would tell a person, go talk to them during refinance time when you have all the time in the world, but everybody is closing 21 days.
Okay, good. So thank you for that feedback. I'm going to pull this up really quick because I do have some questions for some of the agents who may be on this list. I'd like some contributions. If you're on this call and what you're looking at is a list of our agent roster, okay? I keep close tabs in terms of data collection and analytics around the number of eligible ZHL connections on a monthly basis, because now, ladies and gentlemen, the raw truth is that we're held to this performance metric. And in true team fast fashion, we are going to meet our performance metric. What we're doing now is modifying what our existing system looks like and streamlining what the flow is so that we can meet the performance metric. Yet and still, I monitor these metrics on a monthly recurring basis or a weekly recurring basis just to see where we are. And as you can see, there are a handful of agents who are actually transferring their leads to ZHL, yet we're not hitting our number. So if your name is highlighted in red and you're on this call, I saw Aaliyah on the call, I saw Kelly on the call, I saw Hugo on the call, I see a few folks on this call. Can you give me some insight just for information's sake for me? Because I want to be clear here. My responsibility is to communicate with our partners around what's working and what's not working so that we can create a more streamlined system that allows us or enhances our probability of hitting our monthly performance metric. So this is a conversation it's not consequential, it's not disciplinarian, it's not pointing a finger at anyone and calling you out on the carpet. This is a conversation around, Coach V, this is what I'm seeing, this is what's happening, this is why I'm not making the transfer, or to Aaron's point, here's what the experience was when I made the transfer. Anyone, Hugo, want to take themselves off of mute? Julie, Ronnie, Aaliyah, Kelly, someone give me some feedback around what you're experiencing, because what I'm not seeing any transfers happening to ZHL, but I'm seeing the eligible connection amount is there. For example,
Okay.
They don't respond to Zillow.
Okay, hold on. Let me get off of sharing my screen, and let's have this conversation. If you could raise your hand, I'd appreciate that, because it's like we've got several folks who want to contribute. But I got my notes, my notepad, my pen. I'm legit interested to know what our experience is on the ground level, because Zillow has their perspective, they have their point of view, they have their objective. Well, ours on the ground level, our point of view, our perspective and objective is equally as important. And I need some feedback from you. So we're going to go Hugo, we're going to go Kels, then we're going to go Aaliyah, and anyone else has any contribution. I'd love to hear your feedback around what we got going.
What's up, Coach? Good morning. For good to go? Okay.
Contribution, Hugo. What's your contribution, brother? And your
So at least for me, no worries at all. The last couple leads that I've gotten ever since this became like a mandatory and they've put the metric, I haven't been able to, take them down the funnel to the point where I'm recommending the lender. So once I, get to that stage with the last 2-3 leads that I've gotten where this has become mandatory, I'll give you more feedback. But aside from that, at least the leads that I've gotten, again, we haven't gotten to that stage where I'm recommending the lender and kind of taking them down that funnel.
Okay, so let me just go back because Hugo, here you have, according to this document, you have a total of 3 potential leads that could have been that are in met with status that could have been referred to ZHL. So what you're suggesting is, although it's labeled as met with status as the lead status, you haven't gotten to the point of being able to have a conversation with them to be able to, the lending conversation, to transfer them over to a lender. Is that correct?
Right. That's where we're at. And I had a meeting with Dan too on Friday, and we went over that metric and we looked at some leads individually too. And also the ones that I could say that are in Met too, that we could push over to Zillow, they already are pre-approved. I mean, they already got their whole thing going on. So I'm pretty much just waiting for a new, study case, however you word that, to come in.
So for you, it's just a matter of having a lead get through the equation to the point of the lending referral conversation, which I don't want to assume anything. Tell us, share with us, Hugo, just interested in your process, your sequence, your cadence, and your rhythm. When are you presenting that lending referral conversation? At what stage? What's the scenario? Run that scenario down to me really quick.
For sure. For me, well, I filter the buyer. I try to feel them at the first showing. If it's a buyer that they're asking a lot of questions, there's a lot of hesitation, then I push for a consultation, and then after the consultation, I go ahead and connect them with the lender. But if I feel like it's a buyer that really wants to move forward with that property, or is asking a lot of questions regarding like finances and stuff like that, I start hinting the lender, and then after that conversation, I push them over. But I personally, me as an agent, I like doing the consultation before passing them over to the lender, because it just makes things way smoother if they're fully educated A through Z.
I agree with that, and I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back, and I'm going to repeat that for the people who are not in screen, in case you are multitasking and doing something else while you're listening to Coach V's voice. The buyer consultation is encouraged to be had prior to the lending referral discussion. And for what reason? Relationship, education through information. You're getting them into your Zoom space for the buyer strategy call. They are more likely and higher probability to follow your lead as an advisor once you've ran through those steps. Does that make sense? Whose buyer strategy call? Please tell me everyone is conducting a buyer strategy call at some point in your conversion transaction. Thank you for that. Kelly, what you got? What's your contribution? We're not going to be able to see your face today, huh?
Well, we can, but my service is just awful. I swear, I think I need a new phone. I've got so many deals. So much is blowing up my phone that it don't even work. I'm just saying.
All that damn money you make, it quit being cheap and go get you a new phone.
I love that. So, okay, so yeah, I was totally sending people over to Zillow once I met them and connected with them. And you can look at the notes, but every single time Zillow would, I guess, reach out and they'd leave their little note, called, left VM. That's it. And so I'd be like, okay, and then I met with one of them again and he was like, I hate Zillow. Why, so he straight up told me that when we met, and I was like, okay, so he was like, yeah, I don't like them. Don't send me their lender. So there was that. And I've even had a lawyer that I met with that was like, I know what's going on with Zillow and their lenders. And he was like, please, I know their rates too. Like he already knew. So he was like, don't connect me with them. And then everyone else I've tried, they just go ghost the second I do connect them with Zillow. But I've had a couple recently. And, you know, I just got into contract today with a Zillow lead that got a rate at 4.9. Yeah,
Whoa.
with Blake Garner. I know a lot of you might know him, but he's earned my trust throughout this whole experience. And he also can pay the appraisal, and he can do so much for my clients, and they're so thankful for him. And I'm able to actually get into contract when I use a trustworthy lender that I have a relationship with. So
Yeah.
that's my experience.
Have you had any positive experiences with ZHL's loan officer team?
Not at all. Not even when I'm trying. They just kind of are like left VM.
So what is their follow-up cadence? I'm curious to know. We transfer a lead over. We make the transfer via follow-up boss. The ball is now in the ZHL loan officer's court. What has been the follow-up or communication rhythm between the loan officer and you all, or the loan officer and the lead, and keeping you in the loop around the process? Kelly, what's been your experience there? You make the transfer, then what happens?
Yeah, and it's sometimes a little uncomfortable making that transfer just because I don't know this lender, and I'm literally having to recommend this lender now. And I don't know him, and I don't, so that's something that's hard for me. But when I do make those connections, they just leave notes, and I'll leave a note back saying thank you. But really, for me, a lot of it's been no response, Kelly. Again, no response, Kelly. And it's like, oh, how uncomfortable it is for me to keep having to transfer people enforcefully when no one wants to respond to Zillow, yet take them seriously. Zillow's a data company.
So it's the communication. Well, we can't control what the media is amplifying right now as it relates to Zillow, Compass. They've now brought Redfin into the lawsuit. If you guys are aware of what's happening there, until the dust settles, the art of war is, trying to paint as negative of a picture of each other as potentially possible. As we stand, and we're in a very unique position, we're a Zillow partner, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we are. And so we're going to do our best to honor our partnership and meet our performance metrics. However, what I'm hearing from you all that I'm going to take to my meetings here, and I'm going to take to this Unlock conference when I'm meeting with the executives later on this week, is the loan officers' communication and their follow-up cadence could be potentially where the ball is where there's a disconnect that we need to connect, right? Yes, we're going to oblige by our expectations and performance metrics, but we need Zillow to do certain things and not place the entire transfer and the insurance of the connection to our agent. Because I don't know about you, but when I speak to my preferred lender and I make the transfer, I don't have to do any more follow-up with that lead. My lender takes that ball and my lender tucks it and he runs with it until we've gotten a pre-approval. Okay. And so that contributes to the relationship that we have with our lenders because of how they handle those leads. So I'm taking this information to Unlock, to our Zillow partners around what we need from their end to ensure a seamless process while we continue to commit to do our part, ladies and gentlemen. We may not like it.
I have something to add.
Okay, give me a second. Oh, your face is in the camera now. Well, God bless you.
Maybe my phone's not too bad at all.
Give me 1 sec, Kels. We're gonna come back to you. H-Bomb, contribution, Aaron, and then Kels, we're coming back to you, and then we're gonna close it out with 3 terms. I want to know what this means to you.
Hey, so
Hey.
I got one person to Zillow Home Loans. They were good. I had a good experience.
Okay.
Of course, the person that is like, yeah, let's give ZHL a chance. She's tied into a lease. So, and then the other one I got into contract, she was buying cash. This one that I'm in escrow on now, she already had a lender. I don't mind. I have my preferred lender. I've used the same lender since I started. I don't mind keeping it in-house with these Zillow leads, and I always throw it out there. Now, I'm going to put it out there, whether or not they're going to be privy to it is really up to them. And that's just the experience that I've had, that they have their own entity, and I give them an option. I said, I have a list of preferred lenders. One of those is Zillow Home Loans. I've worked with them on I kind of lie, but whatever. Yeah. I've worked with them on a few transactions and they've been great. They offer free appraisal. I can't make them bite, but don't think that trying isn't there. And I do feel that what may help, if this is something that they want to do, if they had a flyer or some kind of information that we can just send over to people that highlights the benefit of using Zillow Home Loans. So it's like, attach it. Hey, I've included this just in case you're interested, in using Zillow Home Loans. Here's a quick something that you can overlook to highlight what things they have available and what the benefit is of using them. Because all I can really throw in there is they're a direct lender. They're great, very responsive, and offer free appraisals. So are all my lenders. Don't do free appraisals, but very responsive. Been in the business for 30 plus years. Things like that. So that's.
Love your feedback. Sorry, did you complete your thought? I apologize for that.
Well, now that you cut me off, I don't know. Just kidding. No, I'm good.
Go ahead, Heather. Just stick it to me every time you get the opportunity. To your point, so we did have a one-pager created that basically summarizes the value proposition of ZH.
Who is an investor / realtor?
To be included, for it to be incorporated into your buyer consultation. Mm-hmm. However, to Heather's point, I love that thought. Just the one pager, sending that over to them as a part of as a visual in terms of what ZHL has to offer, and then still keep it incorporated into the buyer consultation, because that should be reiterated in the consultation. But Heather, I like that. We do have the one pager created, still awaiting Zillow's approval for compliance before we can distribute it. But we're thinking along the same track, because in this case, ladies and gentlemen, the more information that we can present around ZHL and its value proposition visibly, I think the more impactful and the greater probability that it will land with our leads having something in their hand that they can make reference to. So thanks for the Heather. Aaron, rapid fire, brother. We're going to close out with Kales, and then I'm going to present 3 terms to you all that I want us to take and center our approach around for the next 63 days. Aaron, rapid fire, my dude.
Yeah, just real quick, one side note. Also, like Kelly was saying, building relationships with people. And so Ben has been cool, where he's been the guy I like to go to. But the other thing I found kind of fascinating is that he also turns it off. And it's not like when you go to Stephanie or you go to, Ashley, that she's like, I'm no longer at capacity. Like, you got to hire LOAs or somebody else, because we also do have to build a relationship with that loan officer. And even as a loan officer myself, I wasn't on a Zillow team, but I did work with builders, and I couldn't tell my builder, oh, I'm turning off the faucet and I can't take any more new loans. Like, you have to be able to continue to take loans. And so that was another thing that happened, where it's like, now I got to try to figure somebody else out after I feel like I got a rhythm with one person. And again, I wasn't taking Zillow deals, but there's something to be said about building a relationship with your lender that you're referring deals to. And like Kelly's saying, she doesn't know who she's talking to.
Was at capacity? The ZHL loan officer was at capacity for receiving?
Yes.
For receiving loan applications?
Yes. And me and Blessing were like, thank God we got this last one squeezed in here, because I mean, now I got to figure out who am I going to send it to. And again, it's kudos to Ben. I appreciate him. The first guy I closed with doesn't even work for Zillow Home Loans anymore. So Ben has been somebody I've been able to pick up the ball with. But now I got to try to, next one, I got to guess who's next up that's kind of good. So they might have a little unbalance on the real quality loan office, because it appears everybody's going to Ben and nobody else. And so I don't know how that works.
Great feedback. That's great. Great feedback. Great feedback to take, because I know Zillow wants this relationship to work. And truth be told, ladies and gentlemen, we want this relationship to work. So we're ironing out the wrinkles. We're ironing out the kinks. Excuse me. And we're building a model, as this is new, that's going to work for all of us to thrive and flourish. Kels, thank you for being patient. Glad to see your face on the camera.
Yeah. Yes, you're wonderful.
Contribution.
I just want to also say, like, I do actually really pride myself in doing the right thing for people. And we do have a due diligence to people, and it's our job to protect their interest. That's their money. We need to make sure that if there is some sort of knowledge that they're able to save more money, it's our job to actually tell them that, like, as a realtor. And so I pride myself in being a good realtor that can save people money. And it's put me in a rock and a hard place with these statistics today of this meeting. So that's all I wanted to say.
Well, thank you for sharing your contribution. I just put a notation here to bring ZHL back into our ecosystem, back into our learning space here. We've got some questions. We've got some things that we need to work out. And then relationship, to Kelly's point, to Aaron's point, I keep hearing this. Heather said the same thing. Relationship with the loan officers is going to be pivotal. Capacity. I've never heard a loan officer tell me they can't take another loan application. Right? That response doesn't happen in our world. We always say yes to the opportunity. We never say no. We don't turn down nothing but our collar, ladies and gentlemen. We from the Bay. I mean, that's just what we do, right? In business, in social, in living. That's our way. So this feedback is phenomenal. Thank you for that. We're gonna rapid fire close out here, and I want to hit you with 3 terms, and I want some feedback because, Kel, since you still have your hand up, I'm going to ask you something.
Oh man.
Oh man.
My client might show up, and if she does, I'm ending this call.
Rapid fire. What is this term? What is read the word on the screen, Kelly?
Consistency.
What does that mean to you for the next 63 days?
Well, we're going to keep being consistent. We're going to do what we said we're going to do. We're going to keep our word to ourselves and make that plan and stick to it and be consistent in all aspects of our life.
In all aspects of our lives. And I love that you closed it out with all aspects of our lives. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, consistency beats motivation all day, every day. Consistency beats inspiration all day, every day. Motivation and inspiration can oftentimes be like this. We motivated and then we're kind of on the low. We're motivated and then we're inspired and then we're bummed out. We're inspired. Life be lifing. Consistency says no matter what, motivated, inspired or not, I'm just going to put one foot in front of the next. So for the next 63 days, what in your life, where in your business is this term not as strong as you want it to be? And if you are hitting your goals, then I encourage you to put your foot on the gas for the next 63 days. Aaron, what does that word mean to you?
Discipline means that you got to do shit that you don't necessarily want to do sometimes, and so doing it's easy to do stuff that you really love doing all the time, but the little things that you're supposed to do that are like not the funnest things in the world, it takes real discipline to maintain that. And so that's pretty much the size of it. Doing things that not everybody is willing to do, or that sometimes you don't want to do yourself, but you still do it anyways. I think that you and Elias are always on some fuck your feelings type of stuff. Like, you do it. Who cares how you feel about it?
Because your feelings fleet. They're a fleeting moment, right? So discipline, doing the thing that you don't want to do. Hey, George, that sounds like that includes follow-up. Includes follow-up, my brother. The discipline of a thing, right? So the consistent, one foot in front of the mindset of consistency is one foot in front of the next. I'm going to make this follow up because I have to. All right, I'm going to set this appointment because the consistent actions creates the discipline. Who do I have? Julie, I see you on my screen. Close us out with this term and what it means to you, and how is it applicable to 100,000 in 63 days GCI? Let's go.
Commitment. You're asking a Libra about commitment.
I'm asking a Rutgers graduate about commitment. Let's go. So how does this turn fit into your flow for the next 63 days to reach 100K GCI?
Do or die.
Where's the freaking fire emoji? So let me get out of this. God dang it. Where is it at? Okay, let me sit right there. Do or die. You burn the ship. When we land on the other side, when we make the commitment that we're going to be consistent and that we're going to operate in discipline, we burn the ship. There is no plan B. It's a one-way ticket. It's a one-way ticket to success. However you define success for yourself, it's going to require those three attributes in play synonymously: consistency, discipline, and commitment. Listen, if you're not where you are or where you want to be, we got 63 days, and I employ you to implement or to pick up consistency, discipline, and commit to yourself that you are going to be disciplined and consistent in whatever to accomplish your definition of success. All of our definitions may be different. Own it, be it, become it, put it into action, and just give yourself the opportunity to see how beautiful your holiday season is going to be because you implemented those three words in the last 63 days of this year. Yo, that's our time. Getting ready for Zillow Unlock. Want to have a little fun today and tomorrow. Crush your weekend, whatever team is on. I'll see you not next week, but the week after that. Until then, grace, peace, and blessings to you all. Continue to do what you do and dominate in your world. Peace.
Before we go,
Damn,
anybody have a buyer in San Jose?
a buyer?
I got one in the hills.
What is that called?
No, it's not a fixer. My client has a 4.3. They want 2.7 in the hills of San Jose. It's a great view, but it ain't no view today.
Did you put it all out in the Slack channels, bro?
No, I haven't put it. I just came to see what needs to be done before we put it on the market. But I just want to see if there's anyone that has time.
Have some buyers in San Jose.
It's a pretty nice house.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you're going to do an amazing video home tour and all of that cool stuff for all of us to see. Blast it out to the team, bro. Tag everybody within, the Flex team, because I'm sure we've got agents who've got a network all throughout Silicon Valley, 2.742 with those views. I mean, I'm sure you're going to highlight it in the property preview, but blast it out, bro. Let's get cool to buyer. Let's do business.
Come on.
All right, y'all. Crush your weekend. Peace.